Quick disclaimer, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing here should be considered financial advice. Always do your own research and understand the risks before investing.
Welcome back everyone to another Bitcoin update. So here we are on the shorter time frame. I just want to simplify things because we really have been within a larger range for the past couple of months. We are basically heading into close to our third month, I believe so, within a couple days. So that has been pretty nice to see, but it's been overall pretty much the same thing. We've just been kind of going back and forth between that larger degree range. And here we are on the shorter time frame. I just want to keep things very simple just to kind of show you where we could possibly be heading with some possible roadmaps, levels, resistance, and support, and trend lines to look out for. So since the 16th of March, we have formed a 5-wave move down and a 3-wave move up, which has formed a larger degree 1-2 setup to the downside, where we then again got that larger correction afterwards, all the way down to 65,000. Now, what we have been tracking for that is, are we in a larger degree, just extended B wave, in which we could now basically start working our way up within this white scenario? Or are we in a more impulsive move to the downside, where instead of this being a 1-2 setup to the downside, well, it would be a 1-2 setup, but we would have a more impulsive third wave down, fourth wave up, and a fifth wave down, which would actually break us below that 60,000 low and start to head into the 50s, where we would try to look for a support and resistance there of where we can possibly bounce off from. So what we've seen on the shorter time frame is we have a few different things that could be playing out. We have seen basically all a 5-wave move down from this decline, which is overall a 3-wave move. So technically this is valid for all of the B wave, in which we could also go for a extension in the B wave if we get one more low. However, as long as we are holding support, it remains plausible that this could just be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move up and a 3-wave move down, which would form this white 1-2 setup, in which we could get a impulsive third wave after. That is assuming if that is what is playing out. Way too early to tell for that, but otherwise what this could be is if we did not bottom in this B wave, so this B wave is going for an extension, or we are indeed in that more impulsive third wave sell-off, is what we could expect to see is another 1-2 setup to the downside and another sell-off from there, which would be a break below our support zone at 65,600 to 66,900. And because it's so hard whether to know whether this is all of the second wave or not. Oh, don't mean to download that. Whether or not we are in this white second wave already, if it's already has topped, or it hasn't, and we are in this white 1 wave, well, that kind of all depends on price action right now. So could this have been all of the 3-wave move, and that's all of the second wave, and now we're going to head lower? Or we'll be going for a more extended A, B, C upwards, in which we could find that rejection there. So that's kind of where I'm at right now within this. So we kind of just have to wait and see how price is going to do. It wouldn't surprise me if we just keep bouncing back and forth between support and resistance until a move is made one way or another. And so far, if we go to the 15-minute time frame, it is possible that we did form a 5-wave move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move up, and now we could just be in a 3-wave move down for a very micro 1-2 setup. But then again, this could just be all of a wave, a B wave that extended, a C wave up, and then that's all of the second wave. That's a 1-2 setup to the downside, and now we're going for another low. So that is totally possible as well. So all we can really look for is just support and resistance. It can be super hard to trade when we're right in the middle between support and resistance, and there's so many different scenarios. It's basically a 50-50 guessing whether we would go up or down afterwards. all we can really look for is a 5-wave move up or a 5-wave move down, and then a vice versa with the 3-wave move wherever it wants to go. And we can look at swing highs and swing lows, support and resistance. So if we form a 5-wave move up and a break above resistance and a 3-wave move down, well, that's a very nice setup for some possibly higher prices. But if we just come here, we get this A wave up, we get a rejection, we form another, in a C wave, we form a 5-wave move up, and we kind of struggle in resistance and we start to head lower, well, then that just adds more weight to the orange scenario, or possibly that more extended 3rd wave sell-off. So that's it for the analysis part. There isn't really too much other to touch up on than just these are the scenarios, these are support and resistance. But what I like to do too is we go over the RSI, and then we'll go over the liquidity as well for some of the zones. So on the 4-hour RSI, we saw this divergence play out very nicely, which had that rally up. Well, there was just from a news-driven headline of a Trump tweet, because I think he was on Air Force One and he said something about that, which made prices go up, or whether it was just a bullish divergence playing out. But other way, it played out very nicely, and now it kind of seems like we are starting to have a bit of a sell-off. Sell-off so far only seems like a 3-wave move, so it wouldn't surprise me if we touch that lower support region and then we start to work our way up towards resistance again. That wouldn't be surprising, but obviously it's not guaranteed. We had this divergence on the 1-hour chart as well, and then also having it play out. So right now we're still very neutral within everything. Even on the daily chart, we are still within neutral. It really seems like we are just right back in the middle with RSI for the larger time frames. Sure, maybe some of the 15-minute, lower time frames, we might be pretty close to oversold, but on the larger RSI charts or time frames, we are just right in the middle, which is what I was saying before, just right in the middle between support and resistance, and the RSI shows it too. We are just very neutral. Now, if we go over to the liquidity, we can see this as well. Obviously, shorts have been building up all the way up to 75,000, which kind of adds weight to that white scenario because we do have way more shorts compared to longs. So it adds more weight to either a B wave extension or the B wave already bottomed. If we do get a B wave extension, it wouldn't be surprising to see another drop to the 62, 63,000 range to liquidate these longs before we can possibly start heading upwards. But that is not needed to happen as well. On the 7-day, we kind of see the same thing, more shorts and longs, but we do just have this giant zone between 63 to that 65,000 range. So that's something to also look out for as well. And on the heat maps, if we go over this next week, which could be this trading week that has now opened that we could see, we have obviously the danger below us, but most of the liquidity is towards the upside, and it also kind of adds weight to that resistance zone that we have where it can go up to 70,000, where it can possibly liquidate most of these longs and then possibly head lower if longs were to build up, which would be a extended B wave. Now, we don't need one more low. We already have all the 5-wave move down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move down. So we technically don't need this, but it could very well play out. So yeah, that's pretty much everything for this video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.